So we'll start by chanting Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Welcome back after a long summer break. We are happy Vijayadashmi to all of you, and we are covering chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita. Now, in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, obviously starts after chapter 2. Right? In chapter 2, after Arjuna has expressed his concerns about his dharma, and when he asked Bhagwan, what should I do? At that time, Bhagwan simply did not say, Arjuna, your dharma is to fight, just go fight. It could have been simple answer. But one of the things that when Arjuna surrendered to God, he surrendered to him completely, okay, and said, tell me what is the best thing that is possible for me. The word that was used is Nishreyas. Shreyas itself is what is best, and Nishreyas is best of the best. Now, when such a question is asked, obviously, Bhagavan Krishna, being Vishwaguru, Lokaguru, right, he has to give the right answer. Now, rather than answering that specific question, this is your dharma, just do fight, without addressing the root of that question. Okay, what is the root of the question? Is that, am I doing the right thing or not? Okay, so this is the question. This is the root of the question. And what am I doing and what is my role is based upon who I am. So my identity defines my role, and my role defines my duty, and that duty I must follow. So Bhagwan went all the way back to identity, and he started out with the identity and described who we are. Okay, so that follows up to around 40th shloka or so, like the nature of Atma, etc. Now, from any Hindu scriptures we study, the first shloka itself contains the entire summary, and then everything else becomes details or the expansion on what has been covered, told in the very first few shlokas. In the same way, when Bhagwan opened his mouth and when he gave this knowledge, that within those first 20 shlokas or so, the essence of everything has been given, but then he started giving the details. Now, once he explained who we are, and then he explained we must perform karma yoga. He said he didn't give too many details about karma yoga. He simply said we must perform our karma. And after that, he moved on to describing the nature of a realized person who would come to this state after performing Karma Yoga properly. Arjuna missed that connection. And then that has, because now, from Arjuna's mindset at that time, he doesn't want to fight the war. Why? Because the other side, the his Bhishma and Drona, that is his teacher. Drona is his teacher, and Bhishma is his grandfather, who he loves most, are there on the other side. So he wants to escape from that situation. And here, when the nature of realized Mahatma has been given, that he is self-content, in he is right there within himself and not really like focused on the world, because the entire world is right within him. So when these kind of concepts are given, he want to go there directly. And that's why in chapter 3 begins with the Arjuna's question. He has in two shlokas, says Arjuna says, Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardhana tat kim karmani ghore mami yojasi keshava vyamishrena vakyena buddhim mohayaseva me tadekam vada nishchitte yena shreyo aham. No, so if you are saying this karma is, this jnana is so good, why are you asking me to do this ghora karma? Ghora means terrible. So right there in that word, he has categorized the karma that he is going to do is terrible. And he wants to avoid that terrible action. But when Bhagavan has given Karma Yoga indeed in a short capsule, right? Karma neva ma phalesh kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhuhu mate sangostha karmani. When that shloka was given, he did not give too much in detail, right? Because that is it is one sutra. So when that means that Bhagavan has to give more details about this Karma Yoga. So that is beginning of this chapter. And then he also says, Arjuna says, he's a intelligent student, and he's a student who trusts his teacher implicitly. Even though Bhagavan, you are saying that I must perform karma, this ghora karma, and I'm opposing to this, but this is most probably because of my confusion or my delusion. Vyamishrena vakyena buddhi mohayasi vame. Okay? Because this mixed messages I'm getting because of my own delusion. Tad ekam, therefore, okay, only one. Okay, tad ekam vada. Tell me only one thing, nishchitya, with confidence, so that I get my liberation. So again, Arjuna is a warrior. For warriors are not philosophers, right? If you tell them turn left, they turn left. If you ask them to turn right, they turn right. So that they are implicitly, their mindset is set to follow the instructions as opposed to uh, think and evaluate between too many things. So that is what the confusion that he has. So Bhagwan understands that, right? So then Bhagwan starts responding, and he says, Lokesmin vividha nishtha pura prokta mayanakha. So there is a twofold path in this loka. Oh, anakha means sinless. Jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. Now, depending upon your qualification, you get to take a path. Now, if someone wants to come to your home, and if they're maybe 5 minutes walk, they'll walk and come to your home. But if they're 500 miles away, probably they need to take a train, they need to take a car, and multiple other ways to come to your home. So what is your path, and the not just the what is your path and how you travel through that path is dependent on where we are. Now, one, this adhikaratva. So adhikaratva means it is our eligibility is based upon where we are. If I had the Sankhya Yoga Buddhi, Sankhya Yoga Buddhi means Sankhya is the understanding of who I am, right? This proper understanding of who I am that was given in chapter 2 about the nature of Atma, who I am, etc. Not just by through Shravana, not just by because my teacher said so, but it is followed by Mananam, reflection, and then abidance, Niridhyasanam in that, where you are a Jivan Mukta Purusha or you're getting close to the Jivan Mukti, then you can follow the Jnana Yoga, Jnana Marga. However, if we are not there, that means that even though we heard that we are Brahman, Ham Brahmasmi or Tattvamasi, whichever Mahavakyas we heard, we understood what it means from a Shravanam perspective, but we are not experiencing that. That means there is a dirt in our mind. Dirt means please don't think as like something bad. No. Okay, so uh, it is both rajas and tamas mixtures are there in our mind that need to be cleaned out. The process of cleaning that rajas and tamas in our mind is through karma yoga. Karma yoga in a yoginam. Uh, so for us, like we don't have chitta shuddhi, we don't have chitta ekagrata, so we must perform karma yoga. That's what he said. And then he said, न कर्मणा अनारंभा नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोष्णुते न च संन्यसनादेव सिद्धिं समधिगच्छति. So typically what happens is, even yesterday I was talking to someone and they were saying, oh, I want to go to ashram and I want to live there. Because why? Because they had some fight with at home, and they said like, oh, I want to go to ashram and I want to settle down there. Now, what are you going to do in the ashram? Oh, I'll just sit there peacefully. Ashram is not like that. The word ashrama, if you know a little bit of shrama means what?
Effort.
Effort. Ashrama means full effort. That's what ashrama is, complete effort. So there is a complete effort that needs to be put, and where the student or the teacher is putting complete effort in that ashram and trying to live the values of the scriptures and abide in those scriptural teachings, that is what ashrama is. But many of the times what happens is that many people think that, oh, wearing that uh, kashaya robe means doing nothing. Okay, bhiksha comes free, and then we eat, and then we sleep. That's the thought. So Bhagavan is saying that don't don't go by this externalities, thinking that karma sannyasa doesn't mean that you not perform karma. Rather, it is you don't renunciate by not doing karma. No, no, no. That is not it. It means because naishkarmyam means it is a state where you are not doing any karma doesn't mean that you are not doing any karma. Rather, there's no individuality left in your body to do any karma. The karma is being done through the body, but the individual is not there. Okay? The jivatva bhava is not there. So that is what uh, karma sannyasa means. Okay. So, because if you are thinking that I can do nothing, okay, I cannot understand that nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtyatya karma krit karyate yavashah karma sarva prakriti jair gunaihi. So even if you think that I want to not do anything, the prakriti won't let us sit quietly, even for a second. And because prakriti won't let us sit idly, we will end up doing something. Why? How can you say that I can sit quietly and close my eyes? I'll sit. Bhagwan answers the question in six. I mean, even though Arjuna did not ask that question, Bhagwan understands the mind of Arjuna and he says, Karmendriyani samyamya yas aste manasa smran indriyartha vimudhatma mithyacharasa uchyate. If you think you can sit quietly by controlling your karmendriyas means external organs of action, right? You can do that. But it's a mithyachara. Mithyachara means it is hypocrisy. Why is it hypocrisy? If you are awake and you sit quietly in one place, yes, your body is sitting quietly at one place, but what about your mind? That mind is going everywhere. Why? Because the nature is like that. Our nature is like that. Why is it our nature? Because again, it goes down to the pre-qualifications. What are the two pre-qualifications we need? We need Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata. Chitta Shuddhi means purity of mind. Chitta Ekagrata means clarity of thought. A simplified translation. Now, purity of mind comes through bhakti and Chitta Ekagrata comes through Karma Yoga. So, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga together, when we perform, that is when this Chitta Shuddhi and Chitta Ekagrata will come. Because until then, we don't have any control on our raga dvesha. Because if you try to meditate, when we try to meditate when we sit, that is when every thought comes. And then even the thoughts that we don't know that exist, they come into our mind at that time. And because vasanas, which vasana will erupt at what time, we don't know. So because of that, Bhagavan says in the next shloka, Yastvindriyani manasa niyamya rabhate arjuna karmendrihe karma yoga vasaktaha sa vishishyate. Now, he says there are two type of, you have two options. One is sitting like that mithyachari. Okay, I won't do anything and hence I will become nishkarmya. Okay? Or understand that, yes, I have these indriyas, what to do, so I have to work through with these. Now, between these two, the second category is better. Why? Is because even though this person doesn't have proper pre-qualification, he is vigilant with the mind and he is working on reducing the raga dveshas through, and then slowly he is moving ahead with karma yoga. Now, I need to perform karma yoga. So how do I need to do? Then that's what is explained in the next shloka. 8th shloka. It says, Netam kuru karmatvam karma jayo hi akarmanaha sharira yatra pi chate na prasiddheda karmanaha. So, Netam kuru karmatvam. We must perform karma yoga all the time. Now, because we are saying karma yoga multiple times, refresher. We can perform 4 types of karmas. Nitya karma, Naimittika karma, Amya karma, and Nishiddha karma. Then the 5th one also is there. Prayaschitta karma is also we can count. So Nitya karma is our obligatory duties that we have to do on regular basis. At a physical level, it could be like brushing our teeth is also a Nitya karma, because it is our responsibility to take care of our body, and taking care of our family, taking care of our job, etc. Everything that we must perform, whatever needs to perform, those needs to be performed. Naimittika karma is occasional duties. As and when special situations arise, you have to do special thing. If a child is sick, you need to take the child to the doctor. If in the office, if something, some changes, organizational changes have happened, you need to adapt to those changes and you need to do the things that are needed to be done. If there is a death in your community, maybe a family, friend, or someone, you need to go do your duty. So all of these are Naimitika karma. These two, Nitya and Naimitika karma together are called as Niyata karma. So these we must perform. This third, the next thing that we said is Kamya karma. Kamya karma means desire-based actions. Now, these desire-based actions we should reduce in the beginning and eliminate eventually. Why? Because kamya means there's a desire. Because there is a desire, there's a liking and disliking, and I'm trying to do what I like. What happens is that my mind is holding on to the things that I like, and those vasanas are becoming stronger and stronger. So that's why we should rather focus on our duties as opposed to what I like. That is the way to reduce our vasanas. And then Nishiddha karma itself means prohibited actions. So that means that we should not do them. But we had done Nishiddha karma in the past. We may be doing Nishiddha karma even now. So that's it. Prayaschitta karma is there. Prayaschitta karma means this is atonement actions. Okay. Now, in I don't want to call it any other religion, but sometimes what happens is that you can perform a papa, and for that papa, there's a parihara also. So I know what parihara I have to do, so I can do a papa, and then I can do parihara. Okay. That is not prayaschitta. Prayaha chitta. So there are two words there. Prayaha and chitta together becomes prayaschitta. Means afterwards you think about it and you feel guilty about it, you repent about it, and then you perform an action in atonement with the sankalpa that I'm not going to do this anymore. That's what prayaschitta is. Okay. So this when Bhagavan is saying niyatam kuru karma, karma yoga always is referring to niyata karma alone. Meaning nitya karma and naimittika karma alone, not any other karmas. So that's something should be remembered. And then also with what attitude it should be done without expecting any result and with a understanding that I am doing all of this for Bhagwan's sake, Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, right? And then whatever comes, it is a prasada of Bhagwan. So prasada buddhi, with those attitudes, when that action is performed, that is what is karma yoga. And in this chapter, whenever we are hearing the word karma, perform karma, we're talking about karma yoga alone. Okay. So niyatam kuru karmatvam. You must perform karma yoga because without performing any karma, even you cannot take care of your body. Hence, don't count on this akarma. Akarma doesn't mean that not performing actions or not performing your duties. And then he says, Arthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kavantaya mukta sangas samacharaha. How should we perform the action? Perform the action like a yajna. So yajna, again, when on this topic of yajna, Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji describes what yajna is. Because essentially, I mean, like, outside of Chinmaya Mission, before joining Chinmaya Mission, before listening to Gita discourses by Puja Gurudev, when we think about yajna, we think about four Brahmins or four sages sitting on four sides of a yajna kunda, and they are doing some havam, etc. So what is that got to do like me? Okay, so is Bhagavan asking me to do yajna every day? Okay, that is too expensive to call a priest. I mean, like priest services nowadays is too expensive, right? So what exactly is Bhagavan saying? So Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda ji clarifies, yajna is perform only those actions. Yajna is worthy of worship. So perform only those actions that are worthy of worship. And perform the action with a worshipful attitude. Perform it as a service to the Lord. And when we are performing service to the Lord, we put our likes and dislikes aside. And when you go to temple, when the priest gives some prasadam, unless you're allergic to it or something like that, you keep your likes and dislikes aside and you just eat it right away. Okay? And you thank the Lord because whatever comes, that is His blessing. So that is the attitude. With that attitude, we must perform these actions. And then he reminds that Sahayajna praja sruštva purovacha prajapati anena prasavishyadvam esha vostva ishtakamudhuk. So now in our home, what happens is that when we were kids, who would we listen to? Our father, our mother, parents. Why do we listen to them? Because they are the ones who gave us birth and they are the ones who are taking care of us. Now, this whole Srishti has been created by Brahmaji. Okay? Brahmaji with four heads. Okay. So, from a creation perspective, as the earth is created by Brahmaji and you and I are created by Brahmaji, etc. So, now, so that means that he is our forefather. He created me, he created my parents, my grandparents, and grandparents, etc. So he's my first of my ancestors. And so that means that I had to follow what he said. And when he created this universe, what he said is that all of you must act with the spirit of yajna and with the spirit of cooperation. And thus, anena prasavishyadhya yeshtavostu ishtakamathuk. So it is as if, so kamathuk means fulfilling kamadhenu. Okay, so the kamadhenu is kamathuk. So that means what happens is that when we are performing all our actions together in a harmonious way, all our desires are fulfilled, like wish fulfilling cow. All our desires are fulfilled, and these are dharmic desires. And as we are fulfilling our desires, what happens? We want to go beyond our desires and eventually we want to attain moksha. So this is the blessing of Lord Brahmaji himself. So we must follow. And what kind of a things is that Sahayagna Praja, and what are these 5 types of yajnas? I mean, like what type of yajnas that are to be done? Our scriptures. Again, see here, understand that Arjuna went to school and he studied. Now, he may not have studied Vedanta, but he has good understanding of scriptures, etc. of those times. Dharma Shastra, what is Dharma, etc. So, because of that, what happens is that when Bhagavan Lord Krishna is giving the details about what needs to be done, he is skipping certain things that are commonly understood during that age and time. But because we are far away removed from the environment where Arjuna was born and brought up, we need some other interpreters like Adi Shankaracharya ji, etc., who did research for us and said what exactly this yajna means, etc. Again, they are not making up stuff. Rather, they give quotations from different Puranas, different Dharma Shastras, and say that this is the Dharma of that time, and etc. Right? So here yajnas were given as there are 5 types of yajnas that need to be performed: Brahma yajna, Deva yajna, Pitru yajna, Bhuta yajna, and Nru yajna. So these are five yajnas. So there is actually a shloka, Brahma yajno, Deva yajna, Pitru yajnaschaivatha, Bhuta yajno, Rupa yajnascha, Pancha yajna prakirtitaha. Okay, so these are five yajnas that are well known in those days, not not anymore. Right? So now, what exactly is a Brahma yajna? Is Brahman, and I want to understand about Brahman. This is something that I must do. To understand the nature of Brahman, how do I understand? I must read my scriptures daily, whichever scriptures, right? So this is what in the Sadhana Panchakam starts with Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam. That's what Shankaracharya says. Study Vedas every day. Now, Vedas means we don't have to study Vedas every day. We can study uh, Bhagavad Gita every day. We can study any Prakarana Granthas every day. Anything that brings our mind closer to Brahman, that is something that we must study. Now, my eyes are kind of like tough. It's tough for me to read nowadays. Okay. In that case, luckily, there are a lot of Mahatmas who put, even on YouTube, they put a lot of their videos, etc., great Swamis, etc. You can watch those also. Right? But Brahma Yajna is still performed on a daily basis. Why? Because this is setting us our mind to rightful thing. Like I mean, in our childhood, when we go to school also, they would start with a prayer even in school. Why? Because that prayer sets the tone for rest of the day. So that is why we had to perform this Brahma Yajna and study some scriptures on a daily basis. Now, Deva Yajna is the second Yajna. Deva Yajna means, again, it's not like a Indra Yajna, Varuna Yajna, like that. Deva Yajna means these cosmic forces all around us, they are giving us nourishment. So we need to take care of that. So it is taking care of all the ecology all around us. That is Deva Yajna. So this is Deva Yajna is teaching how should we interact with the nature all around us. So that is Deva Yajna. Pitru Yajna, especially like coming after this Mahalaya, Mahasya, etc. Pitru Yajna typically could be understood as do some Pitru Puja, etc. Okay. But Pitru Yajna means who is my father and what did he give to me? So that means my father or my mother. Okay. So that means that what I brought, what they gave me is the samskaras and the family traditions that are passed to them through their parents. So that samskaras that are passed to us, the culture that is passed to us, that culture I must preserve. That is Pitru Yajna. And then Bhuta Yajna. Bhuta Yajna again, it doesn't mean like we pray to ghosts, etc. Rather, Bhuta are all beings. Bhuta meaning being. So all beings, meaning it is maybe ants, etc., or creepy crawlies, etc. Anything we must take care of them. In our olden days, usually the first uh, on a tawa or something like that, when something is done, first thing is done, and then it is put out for pro, right? And then similarly, what you call even the now we do the rangoli with all the different colors and all of that, but in the past the rangoli
Ice flower.
was done with rice flour, and it is put outside of the house so that the ants would come and eat. And that way, it is two in one. One is that those creepy crawlies got food right outside, so they don't have to come inside. So it is both protection and then also taking care of them. So that's how our culture was. So this Bhuta Yajna. Now, just because we are unable to do in that manner, it doesn't mean we cannot do in some other manner. So now, staying in US, whereas in in our backyards we can feed squirrels, we can feed birds, we can do whatever, right? And then Nru yajna. Nru yajna means yajna of people, taking care of everyone around us and seeing Bhagwan in every one of them and understanding that my role, wherever I am, whoever I am, my role is to support them as a representative of Bhagwan. That is so these are the five yajnas we must do. Now, if you do all of these five yajnas, if you see, automatically what happens to our rajas and tamas, they'll all go away. Okay, and this way, what is happening is that our mind is getting purified and we are getting ready for the knowledge, right? Where and using through which we get liberation. So this is how we must perform. Then he says, Devan bhavayata anena te deva bhavayantuvaha parasparam bhavayanta shreif paramavapsyata. And now when you take care of devas, those devas will take care of us. Now, that kind of now here deva doesn't mean Rama, Krishna like that. Okay, devas we're talking about cosmic forces. Simple thing. If you look at our climate change, if we take care of our climate, it will take care of us. In fact, a while ago we were discussing that people say save earth, save earth, save earth. I don't know, maybe I already spoke about it before or not. Earth doesn't need any safeguards from us. What happens is, if atmospheric pressures change, if the oceans rise, who are the sufferers? Humankind, mankind. Mankind will be wiped out. Then, after few decades or few hundreds of years, then Earth will come back to its natural thing. Earth doesn't have any problem. We are the ones who are having problems. So when we say save Earth, we are trying to really save ourselves. Because remember, like when whatever meteors got hit, etc., Earth, it is said that all the civilization at that time, not the civilization, but all the life that was on Earth was destroyed, right? So, like dinosaurs, etc., they all died overnight. They are dead, but Earth is still there. We are there, right? So, similarly, something else will happen. So, if we don't take care of, so devan bhavayata anena te devaha bhavayantuvaha. So, it is mutual reciprocation. We take care of our planet will take care of us. That is the understanding. So this now you see in this shloka only devas are used, right? So now deva yajna. So this is what like so deva yajna is important. No. The same it is to be understood as this is a representative sample. Okay, a representative sample means now whatever is true for devas that is true for Brahma. So Brahma means I'm not talking about a Brahmaji with four heads. Brahma yajna. When we study our scriptures and when we propagate the knowledge, that knowledge will take care of us and that knowledge will lead us to liberation. When I take care of Bhuta around me, they will take care of me. Means like it's not like they will take care of me, but they will maintain the ecological balance and we live harmoniously in this planet. And when I take care of people around me, they take care of me too. Okay. When I take care of the culture will remain and it will serve me as well. So this serving all of this will help me by attaining what I want and securing what I already have. So it will going to help me with both my yoga and my kshema. Yoga is I don't have something, I want to get it. Kshema is I already got it, I want to secure it. And then Ishtan bhogan hi wo devaha dasyante yajna bhavitaha te tattana pradaya bhyaya bhunte sthena eva saha. Now, In fact, in this shloka, Bhagwan, Lord Krishna, is being little bit, what do you say, firm, okay, strong. He uses strong words. What happened is that in this world, all of us are benefiting from someone else or something else. Now, when you are getting benefit from something that is already there for you, but if you don't put effort to help some others, then you are as good as a thief. That's what. Stenaha. Stenaha means thief. Now, see, we say, uh, I don't recall which Swamiji has actually said this. I mean, he was philosophical at that time. Okay, he was not complaining about anyone, but philosophically he was saying that a person cooks bhiksha for Swamiji and offers. Now, as soon as the spoon goes into his mouth, or spoon or morsel of food, the first question asked by that person is, Swamiji, how is
Taste.
okay? I made it, Swamiji. I made this. So, I mean, like he was saying it in laughter, but the philosophy behind it is very important. I mean, it's shown in other pop culture also. But the thing is that none of those vegetables are made by us. Okay? The vegetables were grown somewhere in Mexico or somewhere else, and someone else shipped it, someone else held it in storage, and someone else arranged them in the store, and someone else brought it home by paying money, of course, and we cooked. Now, when it cooked, that fire is also not us, okay? That recipe is also not our own. It was taught to us from generations or something like that. Right? About how to cook is taught by our parents, right? So, and the the earth doesn't belong to us. Anything that is there doesn't really belong to us. All we did is mash up some things based on whatever is taught to us. None of the ingredients are made by us. We mashed up and we put it there and said, how is my dish that I made? So why I'm saying that is that there is a, in for us, by default, we attribute, no, we take ownership of things that don't belong to us. Okay, we take ownership of things that don't belong to us, and somehow we think that it is mine, it is ours. Right? We think even about our home also. We say, this is my home. In many cases, 70% or 80% of the home is owned by bank. In, let us say, I cleared this loan also, but really, does this land belong to me? What about the ants that are in that land? What about the trees that are in that land? Those trees are there before I bought and even after I sell the home. Okay. So, what exactly is mine? Okay. Is this really mine? Okay. But however, we think that it is mine. I'm giving these examples because we take things from the universe and we say that they are mine. Bhagavan is fine with that. Okay, that is the prakriti, that is the nature. So be it. However, when you take something, you have to feel it back. Okay? So what? Because we are taking from all around us, right? Whether it is from prakriti, as in like nature, or the knowledge that has been given to us by our teachers, or whichever way, right? I mean, like the support system that is given to us by our government, right? So, for example, you say, this home is mine, but when I get onto the road outside of this house, it belongs to everybody. So, I have a privilege to walk, not right to walk, right? So, even walk, whether it is walk or drive or anything like that, is just a privilege. So then if I am using all of them, I have to pay for those services. And if I use and I try not to pay, then I'm a thief. So this way, if you look at that, this part is we're talking about Nruyajna, right? I mean, like people all around us as a community, right? So in this way, when you look at, I am taking from all aspects, from Brahma Yajna aspect, from Deva Yajna, from Brahma, Brahman means I am Atma and I'm thinking I'm Ahankara. And Ahankara is nothing but taking this power or like taking the consciousness capability and thinking that I, okay, which is like a thief, okay, which is taking someone else's identity and saying that I am Venkat. Oh, I am this body. I am this mind, as opposed to understanding I am. That itself is a theft. Okay. From Deva Yajna perspective, we just talked about. From Pitru Yajna perspective, again, usually when I teach something to my daughter or my son, I say, you know, my son does that very well. You know, I taught him. But someone must have taught me so that I passed it on. So how can I say I taught him that? Okay, whatever is taught has come through the generations or something, and then it passed through me. That's all. So how can I take credit for that? So this way we must think through, and so that is where then the yajna spirit comes. Okay? And they and this is how we grow, right? So like I from different aspects. So this is where we are in our chapter 3. Okay, and now we have to start the 13th shloka of chapter 3. Today we will chant the shloka, but we will cover the shloka in our next session. Is that okay?
Sure.
So I'll break down the shloka first. The first word is Yagna Shishtashinaha. So there are three words in here. Yagna, Shishta, Ashinaha. Together becomes Yagna Shishtashinaha. Santaha. Santaha. It is Santo is there, right? So that is Santo is there because it is not the end of the sentence, and it is because of that it is combining with the next word, and because of the Sandhi, it becomes Santo. Muchyante, single word. Sarva kilbishaihi. It has got two parts. Sarva and kilbishaihi. Bhunjate, te, single word. Twagham. Twagham is two words. Tu and agham. Tu and agham becomes twagham. Papa. Papaha actually. Okay? But because of Sandhi, that Visarga goes away. Papa. Ye. Pachanyatma karanat. So this Pachanyatma karanat has got three words. Pachanti, Atma, Karanat. Pachanti and Atma becomes Pachantyatma Karanat. Okay. So please repeat after me. Yagnashishtashinas santaha
Shishtaneha Santa
muchyante sarva kilbishaihi
Shante Sarva Kalvishe
bhunjate bhunjate te tvagam papaha
Manjate Karam Papa Tavagam Papa
ye pachantyatma karanat.
Vajantyate Mark Varnata.
So here what Bhagavan is saying is that Yagnashishtashinah santaha. So Yagnashishta means leftover of yajna. Okay? One who eats the leftover of the yajna is Yagnashishtashinah. Those people, they are freed from all the papas that are performed. Okay? And they progress. So this is something that we are going to go into details, and uh, then, oh no, actually I only said half of it. So the righteous people, right? These people who are eating this yajna, the remains of a yajna, they are free from their sins. But the people who cook for themselves alone, okay, they are going to have trouble. they, they they are eating sin. Now, the question is that people who are single and who live alone, they are all papis. So, yeah. Of course, Bhagavan doesn't mean that. So we will see what that is in our next session. Okay. The real meaning of the shloka we'll see in next session. So, any comments, Chanji or Shobhaji, before we close?
No, I think this was very good. I think you kind of got us back on track, basically. I think after this pause, there was some loss of connection. So now the connection is made again, and I think we are able to kind of balance our mind back to what we need to do. I think that's very good reminder of all these different actions that need to be done and to be done in the right way. And hope we can continue progress in this way. And this is good. You touched upon all these elements very well.
Chanji. Then shall we close then?
Yeah.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं
पूर्णमदं पूर्णात्
पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः
Thank you. Thank you.